So I have titled this mind map, Let Go and Let God. The reason why manifestation can be a very daunting and very unsettling task for people who come to it from the absolutely beginner's perspective is because the ego starts to think that it has to do everything, like it has any control. While Neville Goddard has repeatedly talked about the idea of personal impotence, and Florence Scovel Shinn's work is extremely seeped into the idea that we on our own actually do nothing, and this is a play of God, and this is a game of God. She wrote a book, The Game of Life, and how to play it. So letting go is absolutely crucial and essential for us to truly be as who we really are. But the ego hijacks this idea that we have the essence of God within, but the ego becomes the spiritual ego, where it thinks that now that I am God, I can control things, while in actuality, you absolutely do nothing. So the first point is personal impotence. And I heard Florence Scovel Shinn saying that I cast my burden on the Christ within and I go free. And this got me thinking that every single manifestation that came into fruition was when I actually let go my burden on the Christ within and I went free. I have shared the story of me buying a flat in Russia, and I will link the video in the description for those who haven't watched it. But basically, the flat was almost gone out of my hand, and I lost the deposit. And that is exactly when I gave up on trying to make it happen. Because the spiritual ego, so-called, even after knowing the law of assumption, we get trapped in the idea that I can do anything. The ego comes in and starts to manipulate or try to make things happen. And when it does that, it adds too much importance on the desire, and it adds too much limiting beliefs that how something will appear. And that is when we create excess importance and things don't appear as the desire doesn't fulfill. And this is the part where we let go. This is why there are many videos of people talking about when I gave up, it manifested. I have made these videos as well. What do you give up? You do not give up on the desire. You give up on trying to make it happen. You give up this so-called spiritual control, trying to control things with your personal will. While Neville Goddard says you must admit personal impotence. And he says self-surrender is essential, and by that is meant the confession of personal impotence. Impotence means something that cannot give birth to anything. It is impotent. So personal impotent means the personal self, the ego self, has to self-surrender. And he further quotes this Bible verse, I can of my own self do nothing. And it goes on saying that the Father within doeth all the works. So what is the Father? The Father is the all, everything that exists. But we have a very, very tiny world, and we have a small, very small personal will. And this ego, when it realizes that we are one with God, it begins to think that it is God. But it is actually a vessel of God to express through it and express the creation of God and experience of God through it. But it begins to think that it can do things, but it doesn't. I can of my own self do nothing. The Father within doeth the work. And I got this idea from a play, that this is a perfect play of God. And you are a character, you are the main character of this play. But the ego begins to get distracted by appearances in the play, and it doesn't trust how God will. The play is already written, everything is already decided, and the stage is set. But the ego gets lost in the drama of the play and begins to put too much importance on other appearances instead of staying connected with who I am is, who the real play of God is, who is really the player or the character. And so this is the perfect play of God, and you are a vessel for God to express through from. It's God's creativity and experience. So be honest, what can you really add in the play of God? Be very honest. Can you add anything in the perfect play of God? When we try to make things happen, we are actually trying to add something in the play of God. And that is when we realize we can actually do nothing. A lot of times when you're trying to manifest and you try to take some action, it backfires because you are doing it from the personal ego, personal self, personal will. And the personal will does not know how things will appear. And when we do that, it backfires. So all you can do is be as I am, which is a pure consciousness, pure state of being without any identification with the appearances or limiting beliefs. So be the perfect vessel for God to express through you by simply being as I am. What is I am? It is a pure state of consciousness with no limiting beliefs attached to it, no judgment of appearances. So it is about letting go of control, not letting go of your desires. A lot of people are afraid of this idea that they need to give up. No, they don't need to give up on anything. The only thing that they need to give up, because this is a personal play of God, everything is already written, creation is finished. So your desire will come to fruition by the default. The path is already there. It's already being laid out. So all you need to do is let go of control, not of your desire. And I just got this idea that we can barely control our own physiology, and that's it. I have a small cat and I have a small turtle, two pets, and I cannot even will them, impose my personal will upon them to behave a certain way. The universe is too big of a task. But the personal ego thinks that it can manipulate anything. It can't. And that is where all the misery or all the uh, suffering lies in, where people complain about that manifestation is it doesn't work or this, that or the other. All of these are limiting beliefs in mind, and they are not reality. They are just the personal small world of the person that we have in mind that doesn't see the entire picture. As I am one with God, this is an affirmation from Florence Scovel Shinn. As I am one with God, I am one with my good. For God is both the giver and the gift. I cannot separate the giver from the gift. So, as you are one with God, you already have every single desire promised to you. So it's already given. Creation is finished. There is a version of you that exists, that has, or there is a potential reality in the dream of God where what you want already exists, is there. So it's about letting go of trying to make it happen and attaching excess importance and desperation with it. It's about detachment from the process. You only focus on what you want, give it to yourself by imagining it, and then let go. This letting go is the hardest part for the personal ego, because the personal will or the personal ego loses its existence when we become as I am. And it doesn't want to do that. It wants to stick, as the Bible says, the old man. It wants to stay as the old man. And the old man judges appearances. It judges how it sees things. It does not see with faith. It only sees by sight. So this is the last part. We are already, since we are one with God, we are bliss, love, abundance by default. We are every beautiful or good attribute or the attributes of God. We are already all that. But in this experience, we have attached too many impurities, so called impurities, which are limiting beliefs, and we judge by appearances, and we do not have the personal ego, does not have the patience and the presence to stay in the now moment. So we are one with God, but in this experience, we seem to become impure by getting attached to appearances and limiting beliefs. So imagine that you have a cord, a silver cord attached to your back, just like the cord that is attached to the baby from the mother. So we are attached with God like that, and we are never really truly separate, but we can create an experience of the seeming separation by getting lost in the world and not staying in the I am, in the presence, in the now. And these limiting beliefs that we accumulate from the world and in our own personal logic, we end up weakening the signal, the so called. But it's never really weakened, it's just out, it's not in our experience, we are not experiencing it. So, all we need to do is we need to let go of the distractions and let go of the limiting beliefs, and we automatically make room for our real nature to express. So we let go of the worry, we let go of the how, we let go of the when, and the desires automatically appear. This is why when people give up on their desires and they shift their focus on something else, the desire appears, because you have let go of trying to make it happen, you have detached, and the bliss, love, joy automatically appears. The more you release these impurities, the more bliss, love, abundance you become. It is automatic, because that is who your true nature is. So when you let go of how you will make something happen, you just desire, you just imagine it, and you let go. So the worry is gone. You put your burden on the Christ within, and you go free. So it lightens you. You feel light as a feather. So you can enjoy your day-to-day meals, and every day mundane life becomes beautiful, because you know what you want is coming. God is working behind the scenes. This is the perfect play of God. So it's all happening. So this makes you feel light as a feather. The only thing we truly seek is a strong connection with I am, which is the presence of God within. That is the perfect attributes of God: love, abundance, joy, etc. But our limiting beliefs distract us from who we really are. If we let go, the perfect play of God commences as usual, and bliss returns. So bliss will return and desires will manifest automatically. Again, we do nothing. It is a delusion that we do anything by our personal will. There are so many times in my life when I tried to make something happen with my personal will and I failed. There are times in my life when I should have been good at something, but I still fumbled because I was not connected to my I amness and I was not in flow. So I failed where I should not have. And this shows you that personal will fail you even at the things that should work. So it will create seemingly unnecessary drama. So when you let go and you detach, everything just falls into place automatically. This is a perfect play of God. And Neville Goddard often quoted this: judge not according to appearances, but judge righteous judgments. Neville Goddard often quoted this: judge not according to appearances, but judge righteous judgment. What is a righteous judgment? Well, it is centered in the truth that you on your own do nothing, and this is a play of God. So everything is perfect the way it should be. All you need to do is remove the meaning that your personal ego attaches to things, like, oh, it didn't happen this way, so it's not gonna happen. We don't know that. That's a limiting belief. That is judging according to appearance. And if you just let go in that moment, when something appears that you think is not fulfillment, you let it go. When something says about you that you are not abundance, or you are not love, or you can't get love, or you are not joyous, you can't be happy without reason. Those are limiting beliefs. That's just getting lost in the distractions. Remember that you are love, bliss, abundance, joy, and wealth and health and all the good attributes of life, because God is life. So you are life. It is all within you. So when you let go of the false beliefs, these things will automatically appear, and so will every single desire of yours. So I just wanted to make this video because I got this nuance point all of a sudden in my brain by listening to Florence Scovel Shinn, and which is from this one simple affirmation: I cast my burden on the Christ within and I go free. And I started to think about my personal life and my manifestations, and I realized that every single one of those desires came when I casted my burden on God, and I trusted the universe, because I have a personal ego, and I am in the process, just like everybody else, to let go of limiting beliefs as they appear. But there are many of them, and the more I see them, the more I let go. But I have tried to make things happen in the past again and again, and every single time it has been a hard process, and it has drained me. And eventually, sometimes it works, and eventually a lot of time I fail. And that is when I let go, ironically. When personal ego is tired, that is when it lets go. And by just this simple detachment process, everything falls into place after that. So it is not about letting go of your desire. It is not about letting go of what you want. It is about letting go of control. You on your own do nothing. I can of my own self do nothing. The Father within doeth all the work. So I hope that you got this nuance point, that we are the vessel of God in this perfect play of God, and as long as we just let go and just go with the flow, get into the flow, everything will work out as it should, because everything, creation is finished. So everything leads to fulfillment, so long as you let go of what you think should happen. And this is it for this video. Until next time, bye bye.